we have a unique opportunity in all of SAP world, and sometimes in the United States, and Christine mentioned it, and I'll show you some of those initiatives. In the heart of Silicon Valley, technology, startup, joint venture capital world, that we get an opportunity to see some of these new, latest, greatest technologies up close and personal really fast. So we came across this LED technology. It's called Lunera lighting. This lighting system itself is projected to save this building alone 40% of its lighting electricity loads. In any commercial or corporate building, a large majority of your energy consumption comes from lighting. These fixtures alone reduce our fixed total fixture count somewhere by half. We walk through here and you'll see, and I'll show you the engine that drives this. The really cool thing about this lighting is this low voltage lighting. And how this lighting is, the controls are transmitted to this lighting is through servers, not through a transformer or a big ballast. So this technology here is actually very cool. In each one of the LED fixtures, there's a little sensor. If you look at it and it sits up on the grid like this, what this sensor does is not only does it detect who's around, not you individually, but how many people. So as we load the profiles into the system, it's a software-based system. As we load the profiles into the system will start creating this artificial intelligence over the course of time. Time of day, time of week, time of month, time of year. When does lights need to be full? When do they need to be off? How can we dim them down? Each one of you, over time, will be able to type in your IP address. You sit at cubicle 62.2.1, and you want more light for whatever reason, you're able to go right in 62.2.1 and raise your lighting levels up. Sorry, it's hidden behind the screens, but that's actually the AC to DC converter. It converts AC to DC. They call them rectifiers. This is a technical term for it, but just think in terms of your little brick that you plug your laptop in. In essence, that's what that is. It's a rectifier. It changes AC to DC. This does it on a massive scale. Well, this is a good example. These guys back here with all the blinking lights, they're all AC powered right now. So each one of those blades, those servers, are putting out 300 watts of heat or whatever. I don't know exactly each one it is. So you got to get rid of that heat somehow. The reason why you have that heat is because it's changed from AC to DC, that transformer, the brick touch. So if you can go DC to DC, all that heat, well, not all of it, there's still going to be some generated, but the reduction of that heat profile is tremendous. It's much, much more efficient. Encouraging people to do is not travel. Well, that's great. Video conferencing, we use a lot of video conferencing here. That's great. But we work very closely with Cisco to say, look, you have this technology, it's called telepresence. I don't know if anybody's ever sat in a telepresence meeting. Crazy good, right? Super. So what Cisco said was, we'll work with you, SAP, on this massive global rollout over periods of time. We have 20-something in place now and another 22 that are getting built in over time across the globe. Really the idea is to lower our carbon footprint because of jet travel. And imagine the wear and tear it takes on your body and your family. If you've got to have a meeting in Dubai, it's a day and a half travel from here to there for a 3-hour meeting. Turn around, hop on a plane, come back. Imagine the carbon footprint, but also the wear and tear on you from a productivity standpoint. So we've heavily invested in these telepresence machines there as well. So these are the two EV electric vehicle charging stations that Coulomb, a company called Coulomb, designed and developed. We have them in place right now. We could technically go throw the switch and you can plug your car in and use them. What they have in this, and there'll be more information coming out from Christine and Rami and Steve Cole about how you get involved in the Nissan program. Basically, it's, if you look at these, it's just like you go to the gas station. You put your credit card in and you put gas in your car, right? This will be this is the same technology. There's a little charge card. You swipe it across here. It says, okay, you're good. You take this out, you plug it in your car, you charge your car, and off you go. There's going to be another 14 across campus. Our total footprint is going to be 16. That's what we're looking at. 16 charging stations across campus. So we want to get ahead of this electric vehicle craze that's coming up. Nissan Leaf.
Free charging for employees for 12 months for electric vehicles.
Eventually, over time, we're going to use a solar panel to charge these during the daytime, so you have a true DC to DC connection. But that's still the future. We're in Building 2, 3412 Villeview. It's Palo 2. That's the official address. This is our newest build on campus. we actually worked very closely with Stanford, who did the design development of this, to create a sustainable building as much as reasonably possible. So where we're standing right now is one thing I worked really diligently with their landscape architect is to create what's called the Xeriscape, Xeriscape, using native vegetation, low water consumption, pleasing plants, low maintenance. So you're looking at this whole Xeriscape. We use about a quarter of the water here that was originally designed into the building. So this result, it's starting to mature up pretty nicely now. One thing we also wanted to work with Stanford with is to use the rain runoff. Like in your neighborhood, you go and it says this water goes directly to the bay, don't dump anything in there. Well, it's the same concept here. So what we did was we worked with the landscape architect to design what's called a bioswale. So we have xeriscaping and we have a bioswale. And you can see the end result of the bioswale down here. That little creek that you're looking at down there, it takes all the water runoff from this site, funnels it down there, and we use native vegetation. That's actually in there right now. It's called elephant grass. It's one of the oldest plants in the world that actually filters the water. It roots and it filters the water. So any runoff of this building, rain runoff, it also takes the roof water, the rainwater from the roof. It runs it through there and it creates this natural filter system. So by the time it gets to the street, into the water, and into the bay, it's actually water that's clean enough that you could drink. Yeah. If we were going to go look at the meter, we're probably producing between the two buildings somewhere around 96 kW of power, which is enough. That building alone, 3410, you can see how much solar we have up on that roof. Pretty much all the roof is covered with solar panels. That entire roof is powering the data center right now. So the data center in 3410 is completely off the utility grid. This technology, this quantum leaping technology, it's not by every 2 or 3 or 4 or 6 or 10 years. Remember when your computers were the size of this? And look at your computers now, it's on a watch. Well, this technology is doing exactly that thing. They're actually working on technology right now. It's thin film technology, like cellophane paper. Well, they actually wrap a building in solar cellophane. We firmly believe that if food is so near and dear to everybody's heart, then we need to embrace a company that gets the piece of sustainability. So we're very fortunate to have Bon Appetit here, and we pay a bit of a premium to have them here versus a hot dog vendor or a roach coach that pulls up out front, because they actually, as part of their business model, are about sustainability. So they work very diligently not only on local supply chains. So if you see on the chalkboards in all these buildings about who they work with, local, organic, as much as possible. And obviously when you're in a mass production environment like this, not everything can be grown in San Jose and delivered here by the local artisan farmers, but they do a hell of a job of trying to identify who they are and why they're using it. So every time you go through the food line and get something, think of they are actually working behind the scenes to give you fresh, organic, locally grown, low carbon footprint. They do a great job in the marketing stuff. You could go on their website and see all the things that they really do outside of us from an exemplar, so we really embrace them. The owner of Bon Appetit, Fidel, actually went to Florida because he knew their tomato thing, right? So he went there to see how the farm workers were being treated, and he was appalled. So he told the farm worker union in Florida, if you guys don't start treating your workers appropriately, we are not going to buy your tomatoes. So one thing we're actually working on this year, and we got funding approved, is that if we really want to go local grown organic, we're going to build a sustainable garden right here.
Great.
All right.
So Bon Appetit's working with us and our landscape company Ecosystems, who actually manages the Xeriscape. We're actually going to build a sustainable garden for it, and so the herbs, as much as we can, right? I mean, you couldn't have a big, huge cornfield here. It's just impossible to do. But fruit trees, vegetables, as much as we can to actually take that sage and thyme and parsley and cilantro from the garden to the table. It's called the farm to fork program.